the tragic reign and mysterious burial of Sultan Mustafa I. Imagine being born into royalty, but carrying a burden so heavy it defines your destiny. Mustafa I, the 15th Sultan of the Ottoman Empire, lived this very reality. His mental health struggles, compounded by political upheaval, cast a shadow over his tumultuous reign and left an indelible mark on history. Mustafa became sultan under extraordinary circumstances, first in 1617, and then briefly again in 1622. Both times, his mental instability created doubts about his leadership capacity. His reigns were short-lived, as he was dethroned and later confined, spending much of his life in isolation. After his second deposition, Mustafa was kept in semi-isolation, confined to what was known as the cage, a section of the Ottoman palace designed to ensure deposed royalty could no longer plot for power. For someone already battling mental health issues, this isolation only heightened his suffering and disconnected him further from reality. Mustafa's death in 1639 brought an end to a life marked by pain and neglect. Yet, controversy continued to follow him, even in death, as his story took an even more curious and somber turn. Traditionally, Islamic custom calls for swift burial to honor the deceased, but Mustafa's body lay on the washing slab for 20 hours, an unusual deviation from Ottoman and religious tradition. Why? Historical accounts suggest multiple explanations for this delay. One theory claims that Mustafa's mental health rendered him undeserving of a grand burial. This perception of unworthiness intertwined with the stigma attached to mental illness in 17th century Ottoman society. Another account suggests logistical difficulties. His family may have struggled to find an appropriate resting place for him. Eventually, Mustafa was buried in the old baptistry of Hagia Sophia, not a prominent or grand tomb, as many sultans received. Whether political pressures or societal expectations forced this decision remains open to debate. But the modest burial speaks volumes about the era's attitudes toward mental health, power, and legacy. Historians continue to reflect on the treatment Mustafa received, both in life and death, offering an opportunity to reconsider the interplay of mental health stigma and leadership expectations. Mustafa III's story reminds us of the immense pressures that accompany power and the consequences of mental health neglect. Though often dismissed in his lifetime, Mustafa remains a significant figure, his life opening the door to necessary conversations about understanding and compassion, both in history and today. The life and death of Mustafa, I call us to rethink the narratives around historical leaders with mental health struggles. How would his story unfold if viewed through a modern lens? His tragedy highlights the critical need for empathy in evaluating both historical and contemporary figures. Mustafa's life raises powerful questions about leadership, mental health, and societal expectations. Share this video to shed light on this overlooked chapter in history. What lessons can we learn from Mustafa's legacy? Comment below with your thoughts. And together, let's unravel the past to forge a more understanding future.